Hello, my name is Yuni and I'm from the University of Melbourne. Today I will be presenting my paper titled The Role of Music in Enhancing LGBT plus students' School Belonging, a literature review. Here's a quick overview of today's presentation. We will begin with an introduction to the topic and the motivation behind this study. Next, the research background, which highlights the core challenges faced by LGBT plus students in schools. Then I will explain the methodology I used. After that, we will dive into the main findings. We will then move on to the discussion and future direction part. And finally, the conclusion. So let's get started. School belonging is a critical factor in students' mental health, academic performance, and long-term development. However, research shows that LGBT plus students often face unique challenges, such as social stigma, structural discrimination, and cultural bias, that undermine their sense of belonging in educational settings. These challenges can lead to high risk of discrimination, anxiety, and reduced academic engagement. At the same time, traditional clinical methods haven't been very effective in addressing the issue of promoting a sense of school belonging among LGBT plus students. So, arts prescription programs offer a promising alternative. Because of this, music is getting more attention as a potential intervention tool. Although interest is steadily growing, most current research mainly focuses on creating inclusive music classroom. There's still an important research gap when it comes to understanding music's direct role in emotional regulation and identity construction. And it's exactly the gap in research that motivated me to conduct this study. Recent studies indicate that students worldwide are experiencing a declining sense of belonging at school, and this issue particularly affects LGBT plus students. To better understand why these challenges occur, I have adapted Myers' minority stress model as the theoretical framework for my research. Let me show you what I mean in this diagram. In this model, I have categorized stress process into two types, proximal and distal. Proximal stress involves prejudice events, which refer to lective evaluation or hostility from others. LGBT plus individuals can internalize this lective attitude, resulting in what we call internalized homophobia. Many individuals struggle to accept their own sexual orientation or gender identity. This internalized activity then worsens distal stressors, specifically societal inclusion expectancies. That means the individual begins to fear rejection or marginalization from society, leading to a feeling of shame and self-blame. These fears can then cause individuals to conceal their sexual identity, to hide who they truly are, to avoid potential lective judgments or harm. This entire process is interconnected and self-reinforcing, significantly harming the mental health, sense of belonging, and self-identity of LGBT plus individuals. For my methodology, I used thematic analysis, and here's how I approached it. First, I searched databases such as ERIC using keywords like music LGBT students, school belonging, and minority stress. Next, I focused specifically on studies exploring how musical activities such as listening, performing, and participating in group music impact the emotional health, identity formation, or sense of belonging at the school for LGBT plus students. Finally, I applied an adapted version of minority stress model to categorize each study into dimensions like external prejudice, internalized homophobia, and identity concealment. Then I analyze how music plays a role within these categories. Through this approach, I identified key themes regarding how musical interventions can help improve LGBT plus students' sense of belonging in schools. From the collected articles and relevant literature, I identified three main ways in which music could positively influence LGBT plus students' school belonging. The first one is emotional regulation. Music provides an outlet for emotional release and stress reduction, whether through active participation, such as singing, playing instrument, and composing, or passive engagement like listening to music. It can help students process selective emotions, reducing anxieties. About identity formation, music often offers a platform for self-expression. LGBT plus students who resonate with certain artists or songs, especially those that openly support gender or sexual diversity, can strengthen their sense of identity. Notable examples include pop stars like Lady Gaga, whose work and public advocate for acceptance. These artists' music become a symbol of empowerment. For the social interaction, collective music activities such as choir participation or band performances foster social bonds and a sense of community. For LGBT plus students who frequently feel isolated, such group expression can be transformative. The shared musical experience requires trust, collaboration, and mutual support, thereby creating a safer and more welcoming campus environment where they can connect with peers. Current research on music and LGBT plus is very limited. Only four peer-reviewed studies exist as of January 2025. So if you are interested, you could have a quick look. This review illustrates how music can foster school belonging through emotion regulation, identity empowerment, and social cohesion. Despite this promising potential, these remain several gaps. First, the multidisciplinary empirical studies. Future research should integrate approaches from education, sociology, psychology, and music studies to measure the impact and mechanism of music interventions on LGBT plus students' sense of belonging. Second, greater diversity in samples and context. Investigations should include a broader range of musical genres, cultural backgrounds, and institutional settings to ensure findings are more widely applicable. Last, the structured intervention programs. There is a pressing need for well-designed, evidence-based music programs in school to test and refine their effectiveness. In doing so, educators and policymakers can develop targeted interventions that offer emotional and social support to LGBT plus students. In conclusion, this systematic initial review demonstrates that music shows significant promise in enhancing school belonging among LGBT plus students. By elevating minority stressors and promoting emotional connection, identity formation, and social interaction. Music could serve as a valuable tool in creating a more inclusive and supportive campus culture. Now, let's take a quick look at my references. Thank you. That's all my presentation. I look forward to any questions you may have.